Hi, I'm Bran, and I love Lifetime movies.
Hi, I'm Patrick Serrano, and I am a Lifetime movie expert.
I'm Dan, and I despise Lifetime movies, and this is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
That's the Hallmark.
It's hard. We'll get it right eventually.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
What's up, all you party animals?
Party animals.
Last month, we had Mommy Meanest.
That's right.
This month, we have Daddy's Deadly Secret.
Daddy Daycare with Eddie Murphy?
Daddy's Deadly Secret. Another title that I forgot.
You my daddy's deadly secret.
That I forgot until it happened in the movie. And then I was like, oh, yeah.
That's Daddy's Deadly Secret.
That's what I
Got
remember.
It. Yeah.
This movie's not called Missing Girls Time. It's
No.
more. There's more to it.
That's later in the month. We have the Missing Girls, but we got to do a daddy for Father's Day.
Of course, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Happy early Father's Day to all the papas out there.
That's right.
My dad, your dad, to us as well.
To us as well. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say anything to any dads in your life, Patrick?
No, I don't have a sugar daddy, so I'd like one.
Before, so that's all right. That is a message. You would like one.
Listen,
yeah.
You are you accepting applications? How does that work?
You're accepting applications. Are you filling out applications? I don't know how that works either.
According to Lifetime, I need to be in a bar, and I'll be sipping my martini, and then a sugar daddy will offer to buy my drink and then buy me everything I ever wanted.
Wow.
Well, for a price.
Shouldn't there be a dating app for that?
There has to be, right?
At this point, right?
There must be.
I know from Yo Gavel Gavel that there was seeking arrangements or something, which was for sugar daddies.
But that was like more of an escort service.
Yeah, but
right.
Yeah,
this is like an actual like compatibility thing for someone who wants for those two people.
Yeah. I've upped my range on my dating profile.
Wow.
What does that mean? What does upped your range mean? What does that mean?
What do you think it means?
Age? Money?
I realized that my peak top age was 40, right? but I'm 40, so I was like, oh my God, I'm missing out on all these opportunities of these older, more successful gentlemen.
So you mean to tell me that you basically, until the last week or so when you upped your range, you were like, I'm only dating dudes younger than me?
I didn't realize my settings were set to 40.
No, listen, don't let
What'd you
Dan
kick it up
bully
to? 45? 50? What'd you kick it up to?
Oh, I went to 80.
You didn't go to 80.
I went however high it goes. I mean, I think it goes to like 99.
The age does not exist.
You went from only younger people than me to 90, whatever.
Yep.
I went to only
bottom
grandparents.
30. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Bottom is 30, and then up to 100 or 99 plus.
So 30 to 99 plus. So if you get to be 100 on Bumble or whatever it is, you then can just be like, I'm 99 plus. You can guess. I'm 104.
I love that,
but I don't have to reveal that age.
I love how in their wildest dreams they're like, no one in triple digits is gonna.
You never know.
This, right?
You never know.
We'll cap it at 99 plus, and that'll take care of it.
Yeah.
That'll take care of it.
30 to 99 plus.
Has moving back to the small town, has that
the dating apps changed?
Has
for
it
you?
affected it in any way?
Oh yeah, going from Chicago to where I am now, it's the pool is much smaller. So really looking for I've been speed dating. Speed dating is what I've been doing in DC.
So do you got
what do you mean?
speed dating
You
nights?
go up to an actual like we've seen in the movies, speed dates?
Not with the name tags and stuff, but yeah. Basically, you meet at like a coffee shop, and there's like a little app, and it tells you like, okay, you're gonna meet this person wearing this outfit, and you sit for like 7 minutes. It's like, okay, go talk to another person now.
Oh, that's fun.
Does it?
So it's all through apps now. That makes sense.
Why? So how many dudes do you meet doing this in an evening?
Well, I went to queer night, and that is all inclusive. So I met a lot of lesbians. So I got to read the fine print.
So you got set up with a lot of lesbians.
It was great. I met a personal trainer
at under 40,
a yoga instructor. They were in the age range. They
99.
But no matches. So we'll keep trying.
It's all right. Well, keep us posted on this podcast. I think we should do that every week.
For the folks at home that might not know about your foot, do
you want to talk about that?
Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. Let's just do all the life updates. I injured my.
He's speed dating. He's up to 99 plus. He moved to a small town and he injured his foot. Go ahead.
Injured it's my calf. I did a jumping jack. They were squats. They were squat jumping jacks. So you're in a squat position and you have to open your arms like you're saying like boo. Yeah. You know. So at the same time, and so I was doing this really dumb move in 5:30 a.m. workout class that I didn't want to do, and I was like, I felt a cramp, and then it turned into a calf tear. So I have a calf tear.
Now, when you injured yourself doing a ghost jumping jack, is that when you realized
squat jumping jack sounds like it is not?
But is that when you realized that your dating profile was too low? Need to go up to the 99 plus.
Yeah, that was the moment. You know, I was lying there with my foot up. I'm like, I think I need to raise my. I'm feeling my age.
I'm going to ask the question everyone older than us is thinking. Did you stretch first?
There is a little stretch in this class that's built in to the workout, and then they did like a 2-minute jumping session, which they don't usually do. It was the first time they did it since I was there, and I was like, I don't jump, but I did jump because I felt peer pressured. It's a tale as old as time.
So you are not a jumper, but you decided to jump because everyone else was jumping?
Yep, and the coach was like, "Come on, what are you gonna not jump?" And I was like, "Oh, I hate this guy. But he bullies me."
I know we're up
against it.
You go to a 5:30 a.m. workout class. There's a 2-minute stretch time, and then it's straight into squatted jumping jacks. Are they trying to murder you?
Well, it's Mark Wahlberg's workout school of workouts.
Oh, he's a trainer? Wahlberg School of Workouts.
I'm not going to say the name because they're not sponsoring us. But
that's right. That's right. Hey,
that's right. Mark Wahlberg School of Workouts.
You tool.
Not on our watch.
Pay us and maybe we'll mention you. We did a lot of the work. People can figure it out if they really wanted to, but pay us.
The guy from the Happening School of Workouts.
That's right.
Go ahead. So it's his school of workouts.
I'm just saying, if you see Mark Wahlberg with the shirt off, the results, the workouts show the results.
Wow.
Okay, so you're saying that the 2 minutes of stretching straight into squat jacks is above board.
That's what Mark Wahlberg does.
I feel like squat jacks is such a thing. You'd have to really build. I wouldn't want to go on a date with that.
I there's nothing about looking at Mark Wahlberg that makes me go, I could do what he does.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I thought I would never do, and I was doing it for like 3 months.
Did you feel better? Did you look better? Did you feel better?
I mean, I always think I look the same no matter how much I work out or diet. You know, I'm a Dorito. I'm shaped like a Dorito. That's just how it's going to be.
A Dorito?
I got big, broad shoulders and a little waist and like no legs or booty, nothing. Just a Dorito.
A Dorito.
That's his dating profile bio. I'm a
Remember
Dorito.
When Panda said he was an upside down top, and we had to correct him that he was a right side up top.
Yeah,
that's right. I look like an upside down top, and I was like, no, that's what a top. Yeah, the bigger sides up top here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Dorito. All right, Dorito. Let's talk Daddy's Deadly Secrets.
I'll give you my daddy's deadly secret.
And I just want to let you know, Patrick, this movie is very fresh, very fresh for me. And what I typically do while watching these is I'll watch them and then I will read along at Lifetime Uncorked and just kind of see, are we seeing the same thing? And so if it seems like I have a different take on this movie or a different way of explaining it. Just know that, we watched this separately and maybe saw things happen differently with different characters.
What is going on?
I'm just saying, if I correct Patrick,
Right.
Patrick could definitely be right,
It's not a correction. It's an observation.
It's an observation.
It's just your point of view. That's fair.
And I also want to say, Patrick, that obviously Dan hasn't seen this movie. And I told Dan before you came on here, Dan, you really need to pay attention this week. And he's like, always pay attention.
He said it like I don't normally pay attention.
I just think that with this movie in particular, there's a lot of moving parts. It would be helpful if we had a diagram of sorts to follow along.
Still on Lifetime, right?
We're still on Lifetime, but there's a few different storylines happening that do all end up coming together, but there's also name changes, and it just would have been helpful to have some sort of diagram, but nevertheless, just really, really pay attention this week, folks. Just really pay attention.
Good to know.
Yes.
Patrick, take it away.
This happens in Lifetime movies sometimes, especially when you have parents who are divorced. Okay, so we're dealing with a separation situation right from the get-go. So the movie stars Steve Byers, who is a Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Easy for you to say.
Not really. Kind of like knockoff.
Yeah,
brand,
okay.
100%. He's the guy I sent you the video of.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
He does some interesting things with his face in this movie.
Well, we'll get to the face. And he's done a lot of movies. He's done a lot of TV movies. He's a regular. And Sarah Allen, who is like your typical like Lifetime brunette, very run of the mill. I've never seen her before. So we start off. We have a stepmother and her daughter. Okay, the stepmother, they're like not doing your typical gender things. They're doing baseball, or what's it called, catch in the backyard.
They're doing baseball in the backyard. Yes.
What I love about this catch game is that it takes place. They are right next to the swimming pool, and there's a whole grassy area behind them that they could be playing catch in, and they choose not to. And they don't throw the ball doesn't end up in the water, but it could have. And that's why I always say, just take the proper precautions up front, Dan, and move to the lawn, because then you don't have to worry about fetching the ball out of the pool. That's just
pretty straightforward.
That would be that'd be like us doing catch with right next to your pool when we could just go outside the gates.
Yeah.
And just do it in the old lawn there. But that's just me.
Does a baseball sink in the pool? Would it sink or would it float?
Yeah, it's got to sink.
It's got a football floats.
Well, maybe.
I've never. I am very familiar with the pool part, but not like the sports by the pool. I don't know how that works.
I think let's see. I think a baseball would sink. A golf ball sinks. A baseball would sink. A basketball and football float.
I will say I did. This movie coming out strong with stepmom and daughter playing catch. That was nice. This was nice. And I'm like, where's Dad's deadly secret? Because so far we're just out there having a good time.
Yes, and it does establish some they're not they're not your typical like mother-daughter. Like this stepmother is really going above and beyond. And her name is Caroline. She's a little blonde lady. She's coming in. Lady. She's coming in, as a stepmom. She doesn't want to be the evil stepmom, so she's really trying. And Richard is the husband. That's our Mark Paul wannabe. He calls her daddy's second wife with his daughter. That's how they refer to her, as like a loving term. And the daughter's name is Abigail, and she's like a treasure. Everyone loves Abigail. Her teachers, like all her, classmates. But Abigail is taking a turn. Abigail is hanging out with a new crowd, so to say.
Yeah, she is. They're older.
Oh boy,
they're older kids.
Oh boy,
they're older kids, and they take the public. They take the public transportation, the bus. They take the bus.
They take the bus. Dan.
Whoa.
So sweet little Abigail is out there hanging out with older kids, taking the bus.
Yes. And the older kids, hold on, I wrote down their name somewhere. Oh, they call themselves, we learned this later, but while we're talking about it, they call themselves the Runaway Girls.
The Runaway Girls.
And I'm sure it's like nothing. I'm sure that any group of girls that call themselves the Runaway Girls will stay put. Probably.
Right.
Will stay put. Will stay.
Nothing's gonna. They would never.
The name means nothing.
Yeah. No.
Like
no.
if you
not
really,
important.
It's not important.
No.
It's just a funny, like
It's like baseball in the backyard. That's not going to come back.
That's not
right.
That's not going to come back. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It definitely won't. It definitely won't.
No.
So Richard has a sister.
Yes.
The sister is a drug addict, deadbeat, kind of like estranged from the family. They set this up at the top.
Yes.
We don't know her name, but we learn later her name is Darla. She's been like missing. They have a restraining order against her. She's a bad person. Okay, just keep that in your back pocket.
Darla's a bad person.
That's right.
Got it.
And like Rich, I like. Abigail? No, Caroline. Caroline's a psychologist, and so like, she's always trying to help people and whatnot. So she is like encouraging Richard, like, hey, maybe it's time for you and Darla to reconnect. And he's like, no way, no how. She's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Now, Caroline is sitting down to watch her favorite, 2020 murder show. And they're talking about this guy who, killed his girlfriend. And, it's very, those, Friday evening shows.
What happened?
Yeah. What did you find?
When that guy killed his person and then no one saw him again. Okay. It's like one of those numbers.
Got it.
Yep. And she gets a call from a client, one of her clients is having an emergency, and Richard's like, don't answer the phone. They need to learn boundaries. They call you too much. And that client's name is Beth. And we all know about Beth, right? Beth has no boundaries, no boundaries. She is calling because she's grieving a friendship or something. And this doesn't come back, but there's a full cabinet of stuffed animals. For some reason,
it does come back. It does come back.
Okay.
There's a split second explainer. Patrick,
okay, I might have missed it, but I was like, "What are these stuffed animals at this Beth's house?"
Yeah. But also, did you notice this, Patrick? While she's on the phone, or she just gets done with the call, she's in her office. It's nighttime. In her office, she has these amazing big old windows outside, and there's a light flash. Did you see this, Patrick? It's pretty quick.
No.
There's a flash of light outside, and she goes and she peeks her head outside, and she doesn't see anything. But that also will kind of come back.
Okay, great. I'm excited.
Runaway Girls, Beth, Abigail's terrible. It's like I'm already confused. So, and I wasn't doing anything.
Well, get ready because we have a whole nother batch of characters to introduce because we're only on the night of the baseball throwing.
Caroline, Richard, Abigail's Richard's daughter.
Got it.
Caroline's stepmom. Caroline's client, Beth.
Who are the Runaway Girls?
The Runaway Girls are Abigail's friends from school. They're the older girls.
I'm Allie.
I'm Allie.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Now, Richard drops off his daughter because at the mom's house, the birth mother's house. It's her day to take the kid or whatever. He talks outside with the husband. The husband / stepdad, his name's Doug. There's no ill will. They seem to be pretty bro-y. They're like, hey, let's do this business deal together, bro. Yeah, bro, that sounds great. I love business. And I was surprised that they were getting along. There was no tension. There was no I hate you.
Yeah.
Right. But we do see.
That's Dog and not Dog. That's Doug and Ellie.
I do want Patrick's bro character to make it to a movie somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's great. He's great.
I showed someone my reel, and they're like, "So you've got gay characters down?" I was like, yeah.
No, I want you to play just a straight bro in a movie. That'd be hysterical.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do
Business
it.
deals.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Can you imagine if his no more questions character was no more questions?
No
bro.
more questions, bro.
You know, it would have been a choice. It would have been,
Would've
a choice.
Yeah.
Choice.
I think the director would have said, can we do another take? Can we do another take?
We do one more take.
Right. Richard does bring Abigail inside, is trying to find where Ellie is. Ellie's in the bathroom. Ellie's seems a bit frazzled. She's taking pills.
Oh no.
And Richard's like, and she's crying. You could see that she's been crying. And Richard's like, "You good, bro?" And Ellie's like, "Yeah, I'm all good. Everything's
So
fine."
excited. Just so scared.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so scared. And so, he's like, "All right, peace out." He goes to get in the car, and Caroline's like, "How's Ellie seem?" And he's like, she's okay, I guess. And she's like, "Is she still taking her medicine?" And he's like, "Yeah, still taking the medicine," because he sees the medicine behind her. And she like tries to cover it up, like she's ashamed of it. I don't really know what the deal is there, but it's clear that Richard and Caroline are like concerned about Ellie and her health and like what her deal is. But what can you do?
What can you do?
It's the mom
help her.
It's the mom.
And one thing about Ellie is that she wears oversized clothes the whole movie, like very covered up.
Okay. Got it.
I didn't notice the oversized clothes.
You're kidding me.
I didn't.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not kidding you. I will say I noticed that she dug scarves. Like I noticed that she was a scarf fan, but I didn't notice.
Literally was wearing like a long sleeve dress with like a full like coat, like long like.
I thought she looked great.
It was excessive.
I thought she looked great.
It's fine. It's just it is a warning sign of trauma when you're covering your body like that.
Yes.
I haven't watched enough Lifetime movies to I don't really focus on the clothes as much.
Yeah.
Aside from Caroline's shoes towards the end of those movies, those white shoes that she's rocking were dope. But I didn't notice the oversized clothes.
That's the mandated reporter in me. I've done a lot.
You did a great job. You did a great job on that.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Speaking of good jobs, let's do a good job and head to a break. How about that?
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, we're 22 minutes in, baby. You're
Yeah, he's up to 99 plus.
What's that? What's up, everybody? We're back. We're talking about Daddy's Deadly Secrets. We got two daddies in this movie.
Secret.
We got two daddies in this movie.
So it could be either daddy.
Birth dad's name is
Richard.
Stepdad's name is
Dougie Doug.
Doug is married to
Caroline.
No.
Brian.
Ellie.
Richard's married to Caroline.
Yes, and the daughter's name
Abigail.
is Great. We're
Dude,
up
I'm
to speed.
crushing it.
You're crushing it.
I only sent 4
You're
texts in that first segment.
Amazing. Amazing.
All right. So after school, Abigail does not come home from swim practice.
Uh-oh.
And we see Caroline is like freaking out. They all the couples all come together. They like, we're gonna call the police. And that's when we learn about the runaway girls and how they go to this a place called the Fairgrounds. I was like, what are the Fairgrounds?
They're not where a fair takes place once a year.
So Doug comes in. This is such a great conversation. Doug comes in the middle and she's like, wasn't at the fairgrounds. And Richard's like, why would she be at the fairgrounds? And Doug's like, all right, I guess now's the time to tell you. She's been hanging out with older girls, and they go and they hang out at the abandoned fairgrounds. Okay, sorry, we didn't tell you, didn't want to worry you.
Like, is it Canadian for playground?
No, I grew up in a town, I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina with
shout out
with the South Carolina State Fair, and they have the fairgrounds. And when it is not the week of the fair, it's just a wide open lot. It's just
the runaway girls go to hang out,
and
man.
Occasionally they'll do other things there, but typically on a regular where there's a football game, everybody tailgates at the fairgrounds. I guess I'm really Southern. I don't know. That's
okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Cool.
So a few things obviously come out in this moment, which Richard's shocked by. Obviously, the fairgrounds being one of them. Also, apparently, there is a scratch, like a cut, like right here on Ellie's arm. And they're like, what's going on there? And she's like, well, so here's the thing. Abigail attacked me. And they're like, what do you mean Abigail? What do you mean Abigail attacked you? When were you going to tell us? She's like, I'm telling you now. And apparently she just got really they were talking to her. Hey, maybe don't hang out with the runaway girls. Yeah. And I do think at this time they didn't know that they were called the Runaway Girls, which might be. They're not being like, I can't believe she ran away with the Runaway Girls. At the time they didn't know it. They were just the older girls, and so they're like, we would talk to her, and she got mad, and she grabbed my arm, and they're like, that's super weird that she would do that, and they're like, yeah, it was crazy.
Yes, so. They kind of establish she's for sure missing. They split up. The moms go talk to the police. We meet the police detective, who I don't have a name for,
Parker.
But they love carrying a coffee mug. They love having a coffee mug.
Parker is the best character in this movie.
What?
Parker, if you're listening to this, Parker's freaking hilarious. Parker's a riot. Parker's nuts. You never know what Parker's going to say. You never know how Parker's going to say it. I wish I brought a clip of Parker because Parker's nuts in this movie.
Parker is not afraid to scream at the parents and tell them that they are wrong.
Yes.
Parker is not afraid to ask for a refill of coffee. And
Parker's also one of the worst cops I've ever seen. One of the worst cops I've ever seen on screen at doing cop stuff.
That's we've seen a lot of bad ones.
Right. A minor's missing. They'll turn up.
They'll turn up. Has
it been over 48 hours? They're dead.
I'd love to have a Parker sin chart where we just count the sins of this cop because they're numerous. They're numerous and plenty.
Right.
Numerous and plenty.
Dang straight, baby.
The school teacher is a little bit more helpful. She pulls out a bunch of drawings that Abigail has done. Abigail is an artiste, if you will. And we see a picture of an old convent that the runaway girls hang out at. So the parents all go to this old convent that's abandoned. An
abandoned fairgrounds and an abandoned convent in the same town?
Yeah.
What a town.
Look at this picture. Thanks you for putting this in here.
Not abandoned?
Look at this. Yeah. Look at this girl's drawing of this.
Pretty good drawing.
It's a great drawing.
Yeah.
It is clear.
Clear as crystal.
They run up to the convent. They see a girl with a backpack that's similar to Abigail. They're like, Abigail! But it's not. It's the runaway girls. And all the runaway girls are like, we don't know what happened to Abigail. She didn't run away with us. But they interview. The detective interviews all the girls, and the detective also interviews a woman named Marianne, who is the crossing guard at the school.
Okay. Yes. And Marianne, can I just really quickly? Marianne is a crossing guard, and Abigail first meets Marianne after one of her sessions at Beth's house. So she goes to Beth's house for sessions. Because Beth is afraid to leave her house, apparently.
Okay.
So she goes to Beth's house, she leaves, and Beth's house, I guess, is close enough to the school because the crossing guard, Marianne, is there. And Marianne's like, hey, wanted to introduce myself. I'm Marianne. I'm the crossing guard. You've got one amazing daughter. All this good stuff.
This? I know how far into this movie are we? Because I feel like I've been introduced to a lot of people.
Could be 20, could be 40.
But I know two things haven't
30.
happened yet. One, I don't feel like we've had a murder or any sort of big thing aside from Abigail's missing. And then second of all, we've definitely not had a Daddy's Deadly Secret.
Have we not?
Oh, right. No, Daddy's Deadly Secret. Okay. I mean, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So anyway, there's
both of them.
Marianne, who is now obviously aware that Abigail's missing. And she tells Caroline, I actually know what you're going through. My daughter went missing one time too.
Cool.
Yeah. So she's like, I really get it. People say they get it, but I actually get it. No, I get it.
No, I get it. You don't understand.
I get it. I lost a daughter 10 years ago, so I understand. Yeah. A little too much. Beth surprisingly leaves the house.
That's right.
Surprisingly leaves the house. She's chasing Caroline around the police station.
So just really quickly, just to give a little bit more. God. I'm sorry. So Caroline's at the police station talking to Parker about who freaking knows what. Parker's just asking dumb questions. And at the police station, the CCTV footage is just plastered anywhere. Anybody who wants to look at what's going around the police station, you can look at it. And so Caroline's looking, and she sees on one of the cameras, she sees Beth, and she sees that Beth is arguing with somebody. And so she goes to find Beth, and it's like, oh my gosh, Beth, that's you. At this point, Richard, Doug, and Ellie are also there.
Three amigos.
And so she's like, Beth, what are you doing here? And Beth is like, I know who you are. Points in the direction
to Richard.
Points in the direction of Richard. Says, I know who you are. And she has like this like envelope in her hand, and then and Richard is like, Darla. And it's at this point that we realize that Beth is Richard's estranged sister, Darla. And she says, I know who you really are.
Her brother.
Her brother. But like, what does she mean by that?
Oh my gosh. All right.
And she has a box cutter. So she's being threatening, and she gets basically dragged away by the police, I believe. And they're like, oh my gosh, we can't believe Darla has found us and lied to you and all this stuff. She's crazy. So they're like, whatever. But I guess Caroline takes the envelope. Is that right?
No.
Okay, great.
The envelope.
Wrong.
So, all right. So the envelope, she does not get arrested at this point in time. They do let her go. But they do end up finding her dead in her house. She's dead. Darla dies.
Darla's dead.
Darla's dead.
Beth Darla.
Beth Darla dies.
Beth Darla dead. Got it.
Did you miss that Beth Darla died?
I totally missed that.
Okay, so Beth Darla dies.
You like Paul? Is it Paul who's the cop?
Parker.
Exactly.
Parker. We'll get back to the envelope in a little bit, but she does takes the envelope with her.
It seems like this is too much movie for 83 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I've been missing people dying in movies lately because they just kind of like die. Like,
well, can I tell you why you missed it? It's because they announce that she's dead immediately after commercial break. They come back from commercial break, and if you skipped the first 5 seconds of this commercial break, which I did and had to go back because I was like, wait, who freaking died? Then good luck. You missed it. So they come back, and they're outside Darla's house, and Darla's dead. And if for some reason you maybe fast forwarded it a little too far, you missed it.
Darla's dead.
Okay.
So I think that's what happened. Yeah.
So Caroline and Richard are also trying to have a baby of their own. They get a call
for you. They can't have kids. They're trying to figure out why.
From the fertility doctor, the doctor is like, okay, I got all the tests back, and I have some news for you. You're fine. It's your husband who is unable to have kids because of his history of opioid abuse.
Oh,
and
boy.
He was in rehab for like drug addiction and all this stuff. He just starts going.
He gives her so much information, which, like, I know that Caroline is Richard's wife, but like, man, like, you can't tell her all of this information, right? Like, you can be like,
can't do that unless you give him permission.
Yeah, she's like, Richard's not here right now, but like, you can tell me. And he's like, well, you are the wife, so here comes everything. Here comes everything.
Here we go.
One, your husband is the reason why you can't have kids. And she's like, what are you talking about? He has a kid.
Richard has a kid.
And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. Miracles can happen, I guess.
Since that kid, he's been on opioids. Since then.
No. Because
prior.
Because he says, I actually have in the folder for reasons. I don't know how he has this data, but he spent time in the early 2000s at a rehab facility for for opioid abuse.
So, but he could have a kid afterwards.
So
why can't he have a kid now?
His juice is loose. He didn't have enough. Like his count's too low.
Counts low.
The question now, obviously, is well, then how does he have a kid?
How does he have a kid?
That's the question.
Exactly. And
Caroline secret.
Caroline talks to Richard. He's like, the early 2000s were a time. Like, sorry, I didn't tell you about that.
Telling me.
But
boy bands, emo.
But that's also when he's like, I got the help that I needed. My sister didn't get the help, and like she like I couldn't help her anymore, and that's ultimately why I had to cut her off. But like, I'm not that person anymore. But then Parker comes in and goes freaking nuts on these two, and is like, how do you explain this? And whips the computer around and goes, Abigail doesn't exist. There's no social security number for Abigail. She's not a real person.
We've seen Abigail, though.
We have 100% seen Abigail.
Okay.
But when she's trying to put in the missing, like, I guess now's the time. I'm trying to, like, put in the missing person. I'm putting in the missing person info, and, like, she's not a real person. So I can't, like, somebody's lying. And Richard is like, I don't know what you're talking about. She is my daughter. And so this is another fantastic Parker moment, because Caroline's like, Parker, can you give us a moment? And Parker leaves the room, which is just great. And she's like, okay, explain what happened. That's when he explains, I'm not that person anymore. Like, I'm on the up and up. And also, Abigail 100% is my daughter. And Caroline believes her husband and helps him flee. Like, they just leave.
Under arrest?
I don't, like, she's like, basically tells him to hang tight, and they do not hang tight. And Parker comes out and is like, son of a gun. Parker's so mad, like, can't believe that they would leave.
He's a bad cop.
It's great. It's a great moment. And obviously they have, like, where would you go first when you find out that the daughter that you have apparently isn't a real person?
Right. CVS.
Interesting. Yes. Or you go to the mom's house. You go, hey, let's go talk to Ellie. And Doug, which is what they do.
Yes, they do. And Ellie just literally runs away. She just runs through the yard. She's like trying to climb over the gate.
I guess she tried to climb the gate.
What?
She kind of, like, they see her.
Caroline and Richard show up, and her response is to run?
They go, hey, we got to talk about Abigail, because apparently she doesn't exist. And she runs away, and she just kind of runs into a gate. And she's like, dang it.
How have they gotten this far along in Abigail's life without her having a social security number?
It's really kind of like hard to say.
Good, cool.
I think like,
do you need that?
So you don't need that when you're a kid.
To
you
enroll
just put
in
it
school? Yes, you do.
Do they look it up? Probably
yeah,
not.
But do they look it up?
She's somebody made up one. She's got one on record somewhere.
This girl is definitely real. She's a real person.
All right.
True.
Sorry, keep going.
So Ellie,
this is when we get the explanation. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Ellie admits that her life spun out of control, as many people's did in the early 2000s. It was a tough time.
It was a crazy time. Y2K.
Fergie was doing solo music.
Yeah,
I mean,
London
what was
Bridge.
going on?
Nobody needs that, Fergie.
Terrible. No, we didn't ask for that. So,
hey, mama.
Yes.
She'd be up in the gym working on her fitness. She's not doing any squat jacks after 2 minutes of stretching, though. I can tell you that now.
Definitely not. So Ellie is lied about being pregnant to stop the divorce from happening.
That's right. So Richard was going to leave Ellie. Okay. And so she says, I'm pregnant, hoping that he would stay. He did not stay.
He didn't stay.
He did not stay. He said, we're still getting a divorce.
He's like, we'll co-parent and it'll be great and whatever. So she's like, well, shoot, I'm not pregnant. What am I going to do? Well,
you say
her
I'm
neighbor
lying. Right now. I'm sorry. I tried to get you to say I'm lying.
Nope. She full on doubles down. She doubles down. Her neighbor is a single dad who turns out to be Doug. The child is Doug's. He had a little baby.
That's right. Doug had a baby that he was parenting on his own. So they decide, he's like, okay, great. we can say that this baby is your baby, and then we can make him pay child support so we can get some moolah.
Is that Daddy's deadly secret?
That's one of them.
We think it.
Okay.
We think it.
Great.
Yep. So she puts a pillow in her belly and walks around and, does the whole thing. No one knew.
She does a full taking lives bit is what she does.
Yeah, we don't unfortunately get a montage.
Obviously,
I would love that.
I like it. The one thing that I would have liked some sort of explanation for is Richard never tried to see his baby in the hospital. How'd the birth part of this go? Was she I'm so mad at you. You're not allowed in the hospital for birth, but then we can co-parent. That's totally cool. That part is foggy, but obviously they convinced Richard that this is their baby and literally just for child support money.
Right. Don't ask too many questions. It was maybe they had it in a taxi. We don't know. So Caroline is starting to okay, things are really going down. She's start looking around things, and she finds some paperwork. I don't know now that I know that Darla's dead. Was this at Darla's house where she finds all this paperwork?
Yes. All right, great.
Okay.
So
I thought it was Abigail. I'm like, why does this child have all these files?
So
a very smart kid.
Caroline obviously wants to find out what's really going on. Why was Beth, who's actually Darla, clearly she knew that I was the wife to Richard. Why was she doing all of this? So she breaks into a active crime scene and she goes straight to the cabinets that she saw all of those stuffed animals in. Are you following? Now you got it?
Yep.
And somehow that leads her to knowing exactly where to find this folder, which is you kind of knock twice and the thing falls down, and then there's a
clap 3 times. It's the
crystal dance, and it's a folder. And inside of this folder is a ton of information, including the picture of her at nighttime through the window. Remember the flash of light?
Yep.
So I guess that was her. But also just a bunch of information. It says she's with a happy family now, and all of this stuff it seems like she was putting together some sort of case about Abigail, and maybe she wanted to get to know Abigail, which is why she had to there's lots of loose ends here, but it's clear she was building some sort of case to show that Abigail was with a loving family.
Got it.
Yes.
She might be the mom.
Well, wait for it, because
Daddy's deadly
Caroline finds address or something. For some reason, she goes to this house.
I think on the outside she was going to mail the envelope. I believe it had the address on it, or there was an address in it. Where that address leave? Let's find out after this break here on Deck the Hallmark. See what I did? It's a tease.
That's impressive.
It's a teaser. Welcome back.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are back. So Caroline goes to this house. The house is obviously no one's there. She's like, hello. And she hears some banging and, somebody is there.
Yeah. She knocks on the door, and who opens the door? It's somebody that we know.
Opens the door? It's one of they have a job.
No, it's not Parker.
Another job.
No, it's not the Runaway Girls. One more try.
Richard.
No, it's Marianne, the crossing guard.
Crossing guard. Yeah, of course. Yes.
And so Marianne's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, I don't come out here often. Thought I would.
What are you doing?
It's not a good excuse.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't really have it. And then there's a knocking sound or some type of sound. And Marianne's like, it's the pipes. Don't worry. And Caroline's like, I'm just going to go check. Pushes past her, goes to check, opens the door, and busts in the room. And Abigail is lying on a little bed, like a little angel, just chilling.
It doesn't explain why the pipes were making sounds.
Nope.
But Abigail is alive. She's well.
Was she not banging around?
She was not banging on the pipes.
She was
super chill. I think she's asleep. And it's at this point that Caroline begins to stumble around, and it's clear that she's been drugged.
Caroline's been drugged.
Caroline's been drugged by Mary
Yeah.
Ann.
By Mary Ann. With what?
They had some
tea.
tea.
Okay.
Tea
Yeah,
or
got
something.
it. Yeah.
So then I guess there's a part where where Marianne literally like punches Caroline in the face, which doesn't really happen in a lot of Lifetime movies.
So
she's trying to escape, right?
Yes.
She wakes up from her tea.
wakes up and she's in this chair. And she starts like she's in a room and she's banging on the door, and Abigail comes to the door and it's like, who is it? And it's like, it's me. It's Caroline. She's like, son of a gun. That's crazy. And oh gosh, man, I meant to pull this audio because it's hilarious. But Caroline and Abigail are talking through the door, and she can't figure out how to open the door. Okay. She's like, it's locked. I don't know what to do. And Caroline's like, oh, shucks. And Abigail's like, I got an idea. What if you pull while I push, and then the door will open? And Caroline goes, Abigail, how'd you get so smart?
What?
And then they do that, except I think the reverse of it.
Yeah. Reverse it.
Caroline pushes while Abigail pulls. Whatever they say, it's not what ends up happening. But the door does open, but unfortunately, Marianne's there again. And that's when they get in a little bit of the fight situation.
Oh, that's when the punch happens. And then Caroline wakes up in a chair again, but this time she's duct taped to the chair, and she ain't going anywhere.
You might be wondering, how's she gonna get saved? How is it gonna happen? What are we gonna do? So at this point in time, Richard, Doug, Ellie, and Parker are all together.
Yeah.
And
Fab Four.
And Parker puts a thumb drive in a computer, and she's going to pull all of like Caroline's data or something. I don't know, but the thumb drive's connected to her keys. More on that in a second. And Abigail gets out of the house and runs to a horse area.
A horse area.
She runs
to the stables.
The stables. And
stables?
And I don't know.
I'm like,
there's a woman in the stables
Mr.
too.
Ed is not there.
No, Mr. Ed's not there. There is a woman there.
Mr. Ed is not there.
We don't get any explanation who this woman is, but there is, luckily for her, a phone. And so she calls Richard. And it's a cell phone. Parker says, great, we can trace it. We'll just keep him on the line.
Yeah.
And so she's talking. They find out where they are.
They find out where they is.
And Parker's like,
it's a horse area.
Parker's like, great, I know exactly where they are. Here's the address. I'm going to say it out loud. And Richard's like, great, I'm going to go with you. Parker's like, absolutely not. And so what Richard does here is so great. Richard grabs Parker's keys because they're connected to the thumb drive and runs off and gets in the car and drives off.
The police car?
So no, his car, but he has her keys. So Parker, the police officer, doesn't have keys, which is hilarious. Okay. And she's just like, dadgummit. So they arrive, obviously, at the place. They see Marianne, they see Caroline, and they're able. They get them good. They get them good.
They got okay.
Yeah,
but
they reunite. They're very happy.
Before they bust in, Caroline kind of explains. Marianne explains that she is Abigail's mom, real mom. And that after she had Abigail, Doug, who was abusive, who abused me, took the baby. And I didn't know where they were. And I had given up hope. But then I was contacted by Darla, because Darla had wanted to get in contact with Richard, wasn't able to, and somehow found out that there was how did they find out the baby? How did she track down Marianne? Do you remember?
Nope.
Okay.
No clue.
So like she tracked down Marianne and was basically like, hey, we should get the baby, try to get you back in contact with your daughter. Okay. And that's why she was doing all that reconnaissance.
Okay.
But then she realized
it doesn't really matter. That part doesn't really matter, right?
It doesn't really matter aside from the fact that inside of the folder was the news story of the murder from the beginning. If you remember the murder show that she was watching, 2020.
Yes.
And
Dateline.
She said that that Darla had figured out a way for all of us to be involved in the life of the baby, that we didn't need to kidnap Abigail, but I didn't have time for that. And so Darla had figured something out, but Marianne didn't want to hear it. Okay. All right. I guess. Great. So the crew runs in and Marianne gets arrested and everybody goes back to normal.
No.
Go ahead.
What is happening?
So, right. Okay. Well, basically what was happening was Marianne and Caroline are having a conversation. The other people are outside. They're like, we found Abigail. Hooray. But then they're like, where's Caroline? They all go inside. Caroline and Marianne are fighting it out. And Doug gets a knife from Marianne. She has like a kitchen knife, of course. And he starts going crazy.
No. You're mixing up two different scenes.
Oh my gosh.
Patrick. So
Mary, you watched this movie?
Yes. Marianne gets arrested. Okay. They all go back. Yes. They all go back to Richard's house. It's Richard. It's Richard. It's Caroline. It's Ellie.
Oh my God.
And it's Doug. Okay. And it's at this point that Caroline goes up to Abigail's room and it's like, I'm so happy you're home. And
you're right.
And is giving her a hug. And Abigail is like, I felt really bad. And she basically explains that she went to Marianne willingly because she felt so bad. Like Marianne was really nice to her. She felt really bad about lashing out at Ellie.
Okay.
And she explains that Doug reminded me that just because he hits mommy doesn't make it okay for me to hit mommy, and like all this stuff. And it's at this point that Caroline is like, oh my gosh, Marianne maybe wasn't insane. And so she pulls Ellie into the bathroom and is like, hey, I need you to explain to me, are you being abused? And she begins to sob. And she is like, okay, I think I have figured this whole thing out. I think what Darla was trying to tell us in this thing is that the killer is Doug, that Doug killed a woman before you, found you, and now is being abusive again. So they go out to confront him, and they see Richard is on the ground. And Doug, I guess, figured out when she called Ellie into the bathroom, okay, they're in cahoots. They're going to try to get me. That's when he grabs a knife. And it's there's an amazing moment where Caroline tells Ellie to run, and Ellie, instead of running any other direction, runs straight to Doug. Doug throws her on the ground, and Caroline begins to be like, I know what happened. You killed somebody. And he basically admits to everything. He's like, yeah, I killed her, but it wasn't my fault. Like, she pushed me, and I accidentally pushed her, and she died. And anytime I abuse a woman, it's not my fault. I'm not a murderer. I'm not an abuser. I just have a temper problem, blah, blah, blah. And he grabs her. Richard finally comes to and tries to get him. And he puts the knife to Richard's head, is about to stab him when Caroline smashes a vase over Doug's head, sending him to the ground.
Classic.
And he ends up getting arrested.
By Parker.
Yes.
Daddy's Deadly Secret.
Yes.
Wow.
Does that all sound right?
There we go. We got there.
Sure.
I mean, there was many false endings to this movie where I was like, okay, we're done with the movie.
But that's technically Daddy's Deadly Secret. Daddy's Deadly Secret is that he actually did kill somebody.
He did. Yeah.
He did. He did. So the title was correct. So that is pretty much the movie. They people go to jail. Ellie gets community service. Like, we're all good. We're all good.
Yeah.
So
Ellie gets community service for lying, like the fact that she lied about having a daughter, kid, all that stuff.
I guess.
Marianne is still in jail, and I'm like, for friggin' what? Like, she took her daughter back. Big whoop. Like, she shouldn't be in jail, but whatever. But From best I can figure, Abigail is now living with Richard and Caroline full time, and Richard and Caroline also adopt a new a daughter as well, since Richard can't have kids because of opioids.
Right, that whole thing.
I don't know if you remember.
Of course, yeah, because it's not his. Got
Juice is loose.
Juice is loose. Yes, how could I forget?
Okay,
that's the movie.
So now it's time for Pour It Up or Put a Cork in It. We'll start with Dan. I have an idea of where you're going, but tell me what you think.
Put a cork in it. I get that a lot happened, and for that reason, it is probably better than your average Lifetime fare. But with plot holes this big, I just can't possibly. Like last time we did this was just very exciting. Like I was actually first time I wanted to watch one of these in a while. This is not that. This is not Mommy Meanest. I am fine having heard the two of you together try to explain this and still feel as though I'm a little wonky on the details. I'm out. Hard out for me. No thanks. Put a cork in it.
Okay. Bran, what do you think?
I appreciate what they're trying to do here. I appreciate that everything that they introduced mattered. They just introduced so much.
Yeah.
And you really had to really pay attention to all the moving parts. And I think it was just one too many things. Like there's just one too many things. I think you could have done this a little bit simpler. It said it was based on a true story. I tried to find out what that true story was. I couldn't find it, but
gosh.
I think I'm going to put a cork in it, even though I do appreciate it.
Okay, very fair. Yeah, I agree that it was like many too many. We love a twist, but this was like twist. Too many twists. If the first twist is coming in like the first like 30 minutes,
that's when you're like,
oh yeah, wait, what? This isn't supposed to come till later.
It's a real Argyle situation.
Yes, and then we need to talk about the Steve Byers' face of it all. His face, because this is only fair. I do this. I talked about Lisa Rinna's fish lips last time, and this man also has some plastic surgery going on to keep his face looking fresh, and it's looking scary. It's looking it's not looking like a human face at this point, so for those reasons I gotta put a cork in it, more for the face than anything.
More for the face.
We're on Lifetime. We have hot people only. That's why I was in a Lifetime movie.
That's right.
Of course. So, when our hot stars are getting to the age of not playing the hot stars, they have to move up to like Grandpa in a Christmas movie or something. we gotta move on.
Cork.
It's a triple cork. It's a triple cork. Patrick, thank you so much. LifetimeOnCork.com to read all of Patrick's reviews, not just on the movies that we talk about here, but on all of them. He does all the Lifetime movies over on LifetimeOnCork.com. And of course, you could have watched this movie and watched us on Philo, Philo.tv/DTH, the best place to watch Lifetime, Hallmark, all those channels.
Yeah.
Philo. We'll be back next time with another one. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. What? For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.